play.
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself. I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. It is JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex, Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen. Normally, of course, you're with me. He is on the road today.
So you know your boy is in for him.
Oh, look, and then Sly rolls up, and he has to outdo everybody.
Yes, I do.
On goes the number 10 Utah Whites.
Custom, as you said, Coach.
I know, the road Whites, perfect for this sunny weather, which just got, weirdly uncomfortable for a moment. We suddenly got to the spot where I'm putting a little bit of a sweat line in my hat. I mean, I do that every day. It could be January. I'd be doing the same thing. But
I was about to say, I saw that in December.
But I'm telling you, it is getting warm out here. And you know what that means? Phenomenal spring weather. We're outside on the Plaza here at Delta Center for the final Utah Hockey Club game of the season. Very, very fun stuff because you've got this Utah Hockey Club. Yes, Sly, they have been eliminated from playoff contention officially. Don't care. Do not care. You know why? Because
I don't.
I know that this team was going to deliver. I don't think they could have had their season still on the line. If Minnesota continued to have lost, they have 4 games left. They were officially eliminated from the playoffs with 4 games left. Last year it was a good month and a half, almost 2, that they knew that they weren't going anywhere, and then they got the news, of course, that they would be making the move somewhere outside of Phoenix, and then it ended up being Utah. That announcement, if you can believe it, Sly, we're not even a year removed from that. That was the 18th of April of last year. Imagine what 365 days has done for us. You're wearing a white road Utah Hockey Club jersey with your name on the back. That's where we're at now, and it's the end of the regular season, the very first one. It's been a freaking blast so far. You went to your first in-person game against the Jets the other night. And
no, that wasn't my first one. That was actually my fourth.
It was. But This is the first one with the gear,
with
new
my
gear.
jersey, yeah.
And you went to and you were like, yeah, they're playing the Jets. And I was like, yeah, it's a tough one. That's a tough one. 4-1, they walk out of their winners. You're texting us the whole time. You're like, I freaking hate the Jets. I was like, we've arrived now. Did you ever imagine throwing shade
Alex
at
used a lot nicer words
I did.
than I used.
Could you imagine years ago saying, I'm going to have a beef against the Winnipeg Jets one of these days? Of course not. That's where hockey has brought us.
I hate the Jets is just a good saying for me.
Yeah, for sure.
I hated the New York
There
Jets.
You go.
So this just works.
But see, those Jets always lost. These Jets are a really, really good team, and to beat them the way that the hockey club did was phenomenal. It was a lot of fun, and the season so far has just been awesome. We've already got fans
showing up.
Well, I'll tell you what they do is I was just chatting over here with a couple of the folks. I'll tell you what they do is they do this every game. They roll out, and they are here, and they are the first ones that walk in, and they get warm-up pucks. Same reason we go to baseball games early, right? Batting practice, the hockey version of that, warming up, getting yourself ready for that one. And so they're out here, and I will say, the market has spoken. This is a pretty tough ticket to get tonight to this game. So if you're and this is the team, like I said, who's been eliminated from the playoffs already. But the final home game of the season, everybody goes, oh, we're in, man. And it's a hot ticket, like it's been all season long. But it's as big of a game for the Utah Hockey Club fans as it's been all season long. It's just been tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, I've been excited. I think you guys know my excitement's been ever since way before the announcement of this even being a possibility. It just looks like Utah is a place for this. And even hearing the words of the NHL across the league and how they're just like, yeah, you know what? Salt Lake City would be a great place to have a team. And so I think this year was a win. I would love to be in the playoffs, but this is actually the best case scenario, I think, of transitioning to a new city and all the stuff that they had to do in the offseason to get here and have this sort of result of the season, I just and again, I went to the game on Saturday. I don't know if anybody else did, but I was on the big screen on the dance cam.
Oh.
You know, looking great. You know?
Did you bring some shame to the Sylvester name?
No.
Like
every day I go out, you know. But my wife's right next to me. She was on the big screen right next to me.
Good
dancing,
for you guys.
So.
You look like you're having fun, and that's exactly what this is about. There's a reason why there are people who, I remember when we talked about this, and you were like, dude, when you were kind of thrown into the hockey fan that is like the Pittsburgh Penguin fan,
mm-hmm.
I remember you being like, no. Like when we like that was so. You go into that place, it's a different culture, it's a different vibe, and we're learning it here. And so hockey is something totally different than what you get with the other sports, and that's what I've noticed. And now that I've gone on the road and seen a couple of games for the Utah Hockey Club outside of Utah, mm-hmm. and you see these other markets, and you go, oh yeah, they take this thing freaking seriously.
Yeah.
And it's big time sports. It's big time. I mean, hockey itself is obviously it's a sport that doesn't take a lot to figure out. I mean, it's as simple as it gets. Really understanding. I mean, obviously the X's and O's can get pretty bonkers, but we're talking about taking a hard thing, hitting it into a goal, and trying to do as many goals as you can more than the other team. And along the way, you learn a lot of the fun kind of details as to how the offside stuff works and how these penalties work and how penalty kills work and how some of the strategy works. And so it's been a really, really fun season for everybody. If you're listening right now, our program is brought to you by G2G Bars, all natural ingredients and no preservatives. Make the G2G Bar the perfect protein bar. Let's kick the program off as we always do with the cut. We'll jump in right here. We've got tons of hockey to talk about today. We've got so many other things to jump into, including Sly. Perfect day for you to be here with me here because I've got some sound from the Hill from practice up at the University of Utah. We're going to hear from Coach Witt and see how some things are going. I had a discussion also with somebody who's a pretty close I have kind of an inside source.
I was about to say, you're an insider now.
Like
you
a little bit
you
of
got
like
a guy?
I got a guy or a gal, you don't know. I got a guy, you know what I mean? Like I've heard some things about how practice has been going, and I've loved the energy and some of the stuff I'm hearing from coming off the Hill, and I'm assuming you'd be able to kind of give us an insight into that as well. But let's jump in officially with the cut. Let's get right into it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
And, of course, this portion of the show brought to you by the good folks at Trajan Wealth, TRAJANwealth.com. Trajan Wealth for all your needs in retirement. Spoiler alert, Sly, actually, you're my inside source. So I didn't want to break it to you. No.
Shouldn't the inside source know they're the inside source?
But here's the thing is, I don't know what it's like for you guys as alum. I know that's something that I think every school deals with this too, where it's like sometimes the alumni are like, hey, man, I want to be able to have this type of access. And sometimes that's not really the case. And sometimes, you've got coaches that come in and are like, I don't know who you were when you played here.
Right,
that's not the case, obviously, with Coach Witt. But Witt also does have.
Yeah, he's been there 40 years. Geez.
Are you say that hoping that he hears you say that?
Oh, yeah. I joke with him all the time.
So you've been here 40 years, man. What's your deal? Yeah. No, but in the end, Witt is not a lover of divulging anything, right, to anybody. I mean, and even people who are very, very close with the program, so to speak, guys who have been part. I mean, he's just not one to share a lot. One, because there's not a lot to know right now either. We can get caught up in the spring stuff that really doesn't necessarily translate to much. Yeah. I think the most interesting thing that comes out of spring now is the guys who end up just leaving after you're gone, or the possibilities of getting guys to come in after spring is done as well when that window opens again for the transfer portal.
Yeah, I agree. I think that transfer portal is huge. I mean, for me, and this is what I've told everybody, I don't even need to go to practice and I can tell you what's going on, right? The biggest thing that happens in spring is defining toughness. Can I go with this guy to training camp and the rest of the season here in a couple months? That's what spring ball is all about. It's about toughness and smarts. Can you understand the playbook? Can you handle coaching? So they overcoach here in spring to see how much you can handle. Can you handle that come to the adversity that you'll face during the season and in training camp? So it's a big toughening and weeding out process in the spring. So if you see a ton of guys jump into the portal, they couldn't cut it It's simple as that. And so that's what's going to be interesting. Yes, now we have to cut our rosters down to 105, but, that's what I know. I just know that spring ball is all about toughness. Guys that are known, like Crene Reed last year, Lander Barton, this year, guys that you know about, you ain't got to test, right? I know Teo Johnson's great. They won't get a lot of work, but some of these new guys in the program, it's an attitude check. Right? Let's just see where you're at. What's your temperature? Can you turn it up? Can you understand? And do you have emotional intelligence throughout practice, throughout game situation, which is what they do on the scrimmage? And can you handle coaching?
When the spring scrimmage was happening, when you were in the program as a player, and obviously we've been able to observe some of those over the years as well. What's the reality of those spring games, so to speak? Because I remember, you go up there and the U goes, "Hey, man, don't write down any stats. You can't say any of how many people had And by the way, I always thought it was funny because I was like, what? Who cares? Like when they go, well, Isaac Wilson was 4 of 9 for 61 yards and he had an interception, and you're like, dude, this is the spring freaking game.
Calm down.
They're getting the weirdest reps. They're asking them to do weird stuff. This is not necessarily game stewards, and we're talking about the spring, but. What was what did you get out of spring when you were really
as a player?
Yeah, and during your time when they were asking you to get in there and learn that emotional intelligence, that freshman, sophomore year, maybe a little bit more than when you were already kind of established as a guy who was the guy going into the last couple of years. What were you doing, and what was your anticipation as a younger guy going into those spring practices for Kyle Whittingham?
Well, I mean, Coach Whitt, he's a special dude, man. It's kind of like a psychology bit, right? And that's why I said it's all about toughness and can you handle it, right? I faced adversity when I first got to University of Utah. My first year and a half was all adversity, right? I got there, 190 pounds soaking wet playing linebacker, but I was making plays. Right?
I love how you said that like that's light. I mean, I guess it is.
It is at linebacker. I'm playing with grown men that just got off their mission.
It's I'm soaking wet. 190 is like.
Oh yeah.
There's guys going out there, but I get what you're saying. Like
yeah.
When you say coming off their mission, the guys who are coming back and they're going, I got to take some weight off, and
grown men, exactly. Yes, exactly. And I'm skin and bones, but I'm over there. I'm making plays, right?
Sure.
So, I had a lot of success when I first got there. So it's kind of like a humbling experience, right? I got injured, midway through three-quarters way through the season, and I was starting at that point, and then I got my starting job taken away. How do I handle that adversity? I go into my first spring, toughen out. Do I still got to prove myself? There was nothing that was shown that I had a slated spot, so I was always in like a space of like, am I good enough for that, and am I doing the right things? And then my sophomore year came, and I still didn't have my spot, but I got it back midway through that season, and then I never let it go after that. So it was kind of teaching me discipline, sacrifice, wavering that adversity that a lot of kids these days don't have. They quit instantly and transfer out when they endure some situations like that. And so for me, I stuck it out, and I got my starting job at the end of that season, and I'll never forget it. At the end of my sophomore year, right after we beat Navy in the Poinciana Bowl, Coach Whitt comes directly up to me. I think it was directly after he shook the other coach's hand. He came right up to me. He's like, "This is your team. We'll go as far as you let us go."
Anyway, have a great offseason.
And then he just walked off. He didn't wait for no response or anything. And I took that to heart, right? And he understood the type of player that I was. And so I think that's what spring is all about, is you find out who you have on your team, who's going to be your leaders, who can you go into that dogfight or that alley with and know that you're going to come out.
Let's listen to some audio. Let's listen to the coach up from on the Hill. And, by the way, if you want any of this coverage from spring, you're going to get the best insights from the Utah Hockey Club. Well, our Utah Hockey Club insider, Cole Bagley, obviously, too, but not for the Utes. On the Utah side of things, Steve Bartle does such a phenomenal job. You can read all of his bylines there at KSLSports.com. But here's what Coach Kyle Whittingham had to say about this team right now going into the final stretch of spring practices here.
What's your thoughts on the torpedo bat?
Torpedo bat, all for it. It's legal, right? It doesn't exceed length, weight. I mean, it's all legal. So how can they make a stink about it? So yeah, torpedo bats are good in my book.
Kyle, you had scrimmage Saturday. What were your initial impressions of that? Kind of, where's the progress? What are you seeing?
Well, we're about halfway done, and relative to that, I think we're in good shape. Still a ton of things that we got to get better at. There's no doubt about it. But the offense is starting to tighten up each week. Less errors, mental errors, less physical errors, and so we got to stay on this track. I mean, we got to finish strong. We got 6 practices left, 2 more this week, and then 4 next week, and I got to make every single one of them count because that's just where we are.
Where do you feel best about following after the scrimmage on Saturday?
Position group, or what are you talking about? Position group? Offensive line. Our offensive line is going to be, they better be very good. I mean, we got good players up front, and they're the nucleus of the offense. We've got 2 outstanding offensive tackles, a really good inside 3, good depth behind them, so they've got to lead the charge.
Isaac and Bird have gotten most of the reps outside of Devin.
Yep.
Where does anybody else stand, or kind of how's that room shaping up?
Those 3 are getting all the reps right now, and that'll continue for the foreseeable future. By no means is everything set in stone, but as far as the guys getting the reps, you'll continue to see that.
You've talked a lot about looking for separation in the wide receivers room. Has anybody separated?
Yes, Zach Williams is becoming, if we had to play today, he's wide receiver 1. He's the guy that's making the most plays, getting open, running the best routes, catching the football clean, and is really dangerous after the catch. That's one of his main attributes. Is after the catch, he can make some people miss and get some that rack yardage, run after catch yardage. He's also very good on the jet sweeps. In fact, I'm pretty convinced that if we had to, he could play running back. I mean, he's got that natural ability with the ball in his hands.
How do you feel like Isaac Wilson is progressing this spring?
He's gotten better. There's no doubt about it. Still not where he needs to be, but in fairness to him, he's learning an entire new offense, and so but he's got a lot of the things that he didn't do so well in last fall. He's making progress with, particularly getting rid of the ball, going through his read progression, making better decisions.
What sort of progress are you seeing along the defensive line?
Defensive line, well, first of all, outside we feel really good. We've got 6 guys that we think can play for us, and so that's a luxury, and feel like we've got great depth there and guys that are game ready. Inside, still need some development to take place. Aliki Vimahi has missed a few practices now with a setback, and so he's not out there, but Dallas Vakalahi doing a good job. Jonah Lea'ea is doing a good job, but we have really no experience behind those guys, so 1 or 2 of those new freshmen have got to step up and become a factor for us. A couple of them aren't here yet. They'll be here in the fall. But we're a little bit behind at that position right now, depth-wise. The first 3 guys are doing a great job, but beyond that, need some work.
Kyle, a lot of programs across the country have canceled spring games and fears of poaching, the transfer portal. What are your thoughts on just keeping the spring game around?
I guess there's validity to that, and some, in a way, I don't believe that, you can't be scared to do everything and worry. I mean, we got to get guys better. That's our number one objective, and there's a lot of guys in this program right now that can use this spring game to get better. And so you're not going to see a lot of starters in the spring game, guys that have proven commodities and have played a lot of good football for us, but you're going to see a lot of young guys and guys that need the reps. It may not be a game format as far as a red-white. It might be offense versus defense. We may have to modify, but it's going to be a valuable opportunity for a lot of our guys.
Sorry, go ahead. Were there any considerations to cancel it this season, given
we talked about it. We had the conversations, and we still got 5 practices beforehand. If we get banged up and can't field enough guys, that would be a reason to modify, or change the format completely. But we got enough guys, like I said, right now that will benefit from the work, that we think that offsets any of the other implications of the game.
That's Coach Kyle Whittingham on their final spring, I don't know if we call it a game. When they're having the conversation of should we even have this thing or not, that shows you kind of the attitude as to where we're at with that spring game in terms of how necessary it is for the development of your team in that exact moment. And these guys are trying to balance out, making sure that guys come out of spring healthy, that they can test the water. It makes sense that you brought that up, Sly, too, I love that you brought that up about they're asking guys to grow up emotionally, and they want to give these guys some challenges. And the guys who know that they need to make a step in spring, so that they can make another step in the fall, and the possibility of getting to no one is making their starting position right then in spring, right? I mean, you don't have the consideration of we might not do the spring game this year. No one says that if on the line are starting positions, right? We're talking about something else here. And so college football is moving to this direction of how to treat the spring. It's an interesting thing to try to understand. How are they going to treat the spring? How are they going to get that balance of walking out there? What they're doing is they're really looking at the guys that they're going to have a conversation with afterward to say thank you, but no thank you. And that's a difficult conversation. And that's a difficult conversation to have, right. And it's something that now they have to have it. And more, they have to have that more this year than they're going to have it even in the future, because they're going to be whittled down to that 105. They are breaking up with guys. I mean, Kalani said it for BYU. Utah is obviously going to have to do it. It's not just going, I don't know if you fit in the program. It's I think we would love to have you overall. We can't do it. Right. The numbers don't allow it. And so that's more the decision that they're trying to make, not the one about who's going to get you the W during the season, or a little bit less of that. I was looking at this too. CBS Sports did a list of the most important quarterbacks returning in college football. Devin Dampier comes in the top 10. He's number 9 across the country of returning quarterbacks to college football. A guy who hasn't played at this program before, a guy who played at a in a G5, that's what we call mid-majors in basketball, because we just got out of basketball season, but a G5 program that, by the way, has been laughable. To get that kind of attention at New Mexico, that made a little bit of a turnaround this last year with Bronco Mendenhall at the helm. I think Devin Dampier with a real I'm being mean, but a real program with the resources of a Power 4 conference, with the desire to, hey, let's put you on the map, dude. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's a great spot for him to be in. I'm glad that the national pundits are recognizing that he's a talent.
I think right now all Utah fans from over the years, all alumni football players just need to pat themselves on the back, clap for yourselves for what we've done for this program to get to this status, right? Because that's all, like, you get a quarterback who's talented, but he's going to a program, right? He's going to a good school with recognition, and that automatically puts him in this stratosphere.
Sure.
And so, and that's just over the years of the work and the success that all these guys, from Ron McBride to Urban to Coach Witt and these players have put in over the years to get Utah to this point. And now, Utah's just we're just itching. Right, and then the way this new playoff is, you have no idea. Honestly, Arizona State, the way that they played, they could have really advanced to the Final Four or even the championship game. I thought they could play with anybody the way that they were cruising at the end of the year, but fell short. And I think that Utah could be one of those teams, and I think that everybody knows that. And when you're a lot of things with this article of the number 9 spot is, he's coming with the same offensive coordinator, the same offense, but now you're going to a program with the defense, right? It's like being a top-tier quarterback and going to the Steelers. Like, you're going to have a top 5 defense.
Your head coach is not a question.
He's not a question.
Right.
And so, like, you're just going to a great situation to where, like, you always have optimism to where your name will always be in the hat for contention, right? You can never say that about the Cleveland Browns.
It's a lucky year when they're getting to the
even
spot
if
where
they make to the
playoffs,
wild card,
right?
like I wish no wild card anymore. But like even when they make it to that first round of the playoffs, that's like surprise. That's the most successful season you'll have, as far as like teams like the Chiefs, teams like the Patriots, teams like the Steelers. When they lose in the first round, they're like, oh, you had a crappy season.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yep.
And that's exactly what Utah has put themselves in. You're always in a spot where everybody in the nation now is looking at you for success.
If you're a fan of college football overall, I think that we have to shift our attitudes as to how we think about your team until the fall comes around, because that's actually when the roster is that matters. Like, now we start talking about guys. I mean, look, in the offseason, there wasn't a question like you go, yeah, he's going to stay here, and he'll try to figure it out. Transfer portal stuff hits. I was like, well, maybe he'll hit the transfer portal. You don't know. Now it's like, hey, we've asked him to leave. Like that. It's a wild time. And so, hey, don't sign up for fandom yet of your favorite player on some of these teams quite yet until the fall roster comes out. a couple weeks before the season starts up, because then that's your actual roster that you've got. That's what we're dealing with in college football now. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We've got more to go. We're out here on the Plaza at Delta Center. You've got the inaugural season of the Utah Hockey Club coming to an end here at home tonight. The final home game for this Utah Hockey Club this evening against the Nashville Predators. It's going to be awesome. The Plaza's already buzzing. By the way, did you notice as soon as I mentioned the word G2G Bar as our title sponsor of the program, the G2G Bar tent popped up, and here we are. We might have to snake
Alex is salivating over here.
I'm just telling you. Look, they got the bar. Look. We've got something in common here. The Utah Hockey Club and G2G Bars and the and JJ and Alex with the G2G Bar. So, well, we'll have that going on. What that means is they've got a cajillion bars.
Yeah. Each box is worth $1,000.
Yeah, they're going to bring it out.
Of bars.
Absolutely. Those are massive boxes of G2G
and I bet
bars.
they're giving away for free,
yes,
folks.
Yes, they are. We will come back. We've got more to go right around the corner. When we do return, Kari Larson, who's the Senior Vice President of Community Relations for the Jazz and the Hockey Club, part of that SCG Foundation push to make sure that your impact in the community is not just bringing pro sports here, but doing it with a purpose. She's going to join us next, so join us right here, out here on the Plaza, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the biggest name. You're locked into JJ and Alex, with the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. Presented by G2G Bars. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex, Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen out today. Enter Sly Sylvester. Love having Sly on the program. He even brought his Utah Hockey Club Road whites, man. And he's got the Sly on the back too, just to like really rub it in that he's cooler than all of you. No problem, no problem. Shows up with
I got a bag full of other stuff.
You know what? And I've been talking trash on all the people who are like, don't freaking root for a conference in college football. Don't be that guy that goes, the SEC, man, it's cool. And here I am wearing an NHL shirt. I'm rooting for the league, everybody. I want hockey to do well.
Oh,
no, look, I've got my inaugural hockey club hat on, and it was just hot out, and this happened to be the cheapest shirt inside the shop. I was like, I'm not going to wear the hoodie because I have a hockey club black hoodie.
I was expecting a wife beater. You know, I thought you were going to come.
You thought I was going to come out here with the. With
hamburger meat hanging out. And,
you can't say that. It's a family program. Joining us on the program right now, she's Kari Larson. She's classing up the joint a little bit as we're talking hockey and so many other things. The Jazz were in this building last night, Kari. The Hockey Club is in this building again tonight, and that's light lifting at this point for these guys who've had like a long season of transitioning between the Jazz and the Hockey Club, and it's just been such an awesome season. And we were just talking about how we were a week away, or we're still a week away from the year mark of when this thing was announced, when Ryan and Ashley Smith rolled out their vision for what this thing was going to become. A year in now, watching the organization grow a sports franchise on top of what you guys do already as part of the SCG Foundation. What is it that adding the Hockey Club has done for community involvement with the SCG Foundation and so many of the things that are the non-X's and O's parts of sports?
Yeah, it's been so much fun, and it's been incredible to see a whole new fan base come out and be focused on hockey. We didn't really know what to expect. You know, we've got the regular organizations we work with a lot on the basketball side, but to have them embrace hockey, all these different fans, we found that there was this whole new audience that we get to work with that are so excited about the brand, are so excited about the team, and that's just been so much fun.
Man, what was behind Ryan and Ashley's energy with bringing it? Because I know they put in a lot of effort to bring this here to Salt Lake. Why do they want this so bad here in Salt Lake?
Yeah, if you ever hear Ryan and Ashley speak, they always talk about how much they love the state, how rad Utah is, how awesome it is to be here, and they just want everyone to feel a part of that,
right,
which is so great from a community standpoint, from us, for the work that we get to do, because we get to extend this experience and the brand beyond. I used to talk about, I'd go drop off kids at school, you go to the gym, you go to the grocery store, you see the Jazz brand everywhere, right? Someone's wearing it, and now I'm seeing that in hockey, which is amazing in such a short time, right? To see Utah Hockey Club logo everywhere, shirts, hats everywhere. It's awesome.
So as you have gone through now in your charge as the Senior Vice President for Community Relations for the Jazz and the Hockey Club, one of the big things is trying to make sure people understand what the SCG Foundation is all about. What is the SCG Foundation all about, and what has been the big emphasis for you guys this year when it comes to making sure that people get involved beyond just the watching and participating and hanging out and loving sport, but the beyond the game type stuff that the SCG Foundation is a part of?
Yeah, and the foundation is relatively new. Ryan and Ashley, we had a Utah Jazz Foundation for the first couple of years of their ownership, and it was really focused on education, and we have this amazing scholars program. And then, of course, when we brought hockey on, it needed to expand and needed to grow. And so it really, again, sort of the same way that the team came to life, the foundation came to life just that quickly as well. And we just said, this season, let's do an initiative. Let's reach out to the community once a month. And we had kind of a different theme going. We kicked off the season in October supporting teachers. So we went onto a website and found all the teacher wish lists, and we filled 100 teacher wish lists across the state with all the supplies and the things that they needed to kick off their school years as well. And that's just been a continuation of all of the things that we can do to use our brand to uplift.
Yeah, and I know that. I've ran a foundation, and just embedding yourself in the community and seeing that feedback, seeing everybody lift you guys up and support you. You now have a year under your belt with this program. What things are you guys looking for in the future? You've seen like this works. These people like this. What kind of things are you guys focused on here in the future?
Well, we're going to spend the summer figuring that out a little bit. It's been awesome to see what we've done, and also we want to make sure that we're extending the opportunity to a variety of different groups, organizations, trying to help different communities. It's been cool to see what we've been able to do this last year. It doesn't mean we're going to repeat everything. It doesn't mean we won't, right? So we just get to spend the off season really focused on what we can do in the future, and to be able to reach and touch as many as we can. Of course, youth will always be a huge focus for us. You can see that through all of the work that the Jazz has done, our youth programs already. Hockey, the youth program there has just killed it, kicked off so awesome, and we're getting into a lot of small towns.
Let's talk a little bit about, April's shortened, so you had a lot less time to be able to get your April cause out there. What can people do? What is the April cause that you guys have for the foundation this month? What are you guys focusing on, and how can people get involved?
Yeah, thanks. We turned it around pretty quickly. Just last night and the night before, we kicked it off on the 8th at the hockey game, and last night at the Jazz, we assembled more than 1,000 kits focused on food and hygiene. So again, the essentials that kids need. This was actually something that we talked about even at the beginning of the year. Ashley Smith saw that was one of our proposals, and she loved the idea of being able to help kids, especially going into the summer as the school year is winding down for them, to be able to support essential needs. And so we partnered with the Salt Lake Education Foundation to support the Salt Lake City School District. And so again, anyone can still go to the Education Foundation website and make a donation. We're matching donations up to $5,000.
Oh, that's awesome.
To be able to support, again, those essential needs.
You can't do that without the support of major donors and people who are just saying, you know what, we believe in what they're doing here too.
Exactly. And again, it's focused on kids and family. That's going to be something that we're always going to put forward and be a huge priority
for us. When you go home in the summer, at least you know what the focuses are going to be. You might have to have some ideas from Sly on some of those things. But
yeah, we welcome them.
I love the idea of being able to go out and go, look, for them to say, hey, Kari, why don't you and your team just let's go out there and let's try some stuff, and let's give it a shot, and let's see how we can impact the community as much as we can.
Yeah, and so much of it is going to be Ashley's vision. She really is embracing the foundation and really wanting to make sure that we're being thoughtful and authentic in all of the things that we do and the decisions that we make, and that's really going to be led by her. So we're grateful for such an awesome leader.
Well, yeah, that was going to be my next question. I want to know a little bit more about you, because I know within these foundations, it's a lot of collaboration, right? So for you, what about how much creative control do you have on vision? This is what I see, and you're bringing that to Ashley, and you guys agree upon stuff. How is that collaboration work with Ashley?
Well, again, the Smiths are not afraid of big ideas or crazy ideas or out-of-the-box ideas, so anything that we bring...
they prefer those based off of their past.
Yeah, very thoughtful, and so, again, anything that we bring, she's very thoughtful about it. A lot of times, sometimes it's logistics, though. Sometimes you just have to go with what, again, this was a quick turnaround, so we looked at something that we could do quickly in April. Some of them take a few months. We partnered with the NBA for our event in January. It was an expungement summit where we were able to help people clear records, and that was a huge part of the Clean Slate legislative that's passed. Yeah. So some of it, again, comes with different thematics. If it, we supported Black-owned businesses in February, restaurants. We had food trucks going out, and we had catering coming in for the teams. We had 2 different caterers prepare meals for both teams, which was really fun in support of those businesses. So the ideas just come and we figure it out, and it will be nice to have a little more time this summer to really lock in what we want to do next season.
There's a show. It's an Apple TV show. What is it called? Billions or something like that. And like she gets this money from her husband. It's like $80 billion, and she puts on these charity events. And this is what this sounds like. It's just like there's no idea that is off the table.
Correct.
If you could pull it off, would you do it? And knowing that,
Yes.
like you go, I love the idea of, hey, we'll figure out the other stuff later. Bring me some wild ideas that's going to impact the community in an awesome way, and bring all of this. I'm pointing at the Delta Center here. Bring all of this that people love in their community about the sports, about, I just see the buzz that's going on here on the Plaza just right now. I mean, we are hours from the game starting up here, and people are buzzing around in here, and there's just so much that's attached to it. If we don't take advantage of it as a community, then we've lost it. You know what I mean? Like, if we can't get something good out of it, then we haven't caught the vision, I don't think.
Yeah, 100%. And even just extending it beyond just the sports, too. Like, again, last month we focused on the arts. So we did a little pop-up gallery. We had some artists create live at a couple of different events that month. And then we invited the public to come and just view their art and see their art. And we want Delta Center to be a welcoming place beyond sports as well.
Sure.
And then, in December we did a Pay It Forward, which was, we went out to the community, we bought groceries, we paid for gas, those types of things. So, again, it's not limited to just the sports teams. We really want Delta Center to feel like home to everyone.
Kari Larson, she's the Senior Vice President of Community Relations for the Utah Jazz and the Utah Hockey Club. Kari, congrats on an awesome year of kicking these things off. And, man, we're here to help you guys support this cause as well. So let us know what things we can do also to kind of get those messages out as well going forward. So thanks for your help.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Please sign our flag, by the way.
Oh, yes, we're doing a full like by the end of the year we're just saying thanks to all the fans and everybody who's coming by. We're having them sign this banner here. So when you come by, we're going to sign the banner. We're going to put it up in the KSL Sports Studios over here across the street. And it's still end of the year. But, Kari, we appreciate it. We'll chat with you again. Thanks again.
Yeah, thanks. I'd love to.
All righty. We'll come back. We got more to go. By the way, JJ, his bracket was busted by a fan. And we are going to make that phone call, and we're going to let you hear that phone call with the person who won the $500 and beat JJ in the bracket challenge. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up next. More to go right around the corner. Stay here. We're out here on the Plaza at Delta Center for the Utah Hockey Club versus the Nashville Predators. The final home game of the inaugural 2024-2025 season for the Utah Hockey Club. Stay here. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on The Zone. This is JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Guess what? Sly Sylvester is going to be with me today, filling in for JJ. And tomorrow, I don't know if you know this, too. You're filling in tomorrow as well.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
No
there.
problem.
I'm there.
But guess what? We're on the road again. We're going to be down at the Doug Smith Mitsubishi in American Fork tomorrow. So there you go.
I bet the breeze is just as nice in American Fork as it is
I will
right
tell
now.
you, I will say it at some point, because now the sun's starting to hit my leg over here. I'm such a baby. Like, I got black shoes on, and my shoes are getting hot on the one side. Well, we're going to be at the Doug Smith Mitsubishi in American Fork tomorrow, right off of the Main Street exit. It's the I just call it the In-N-Out Burger exit right there in American Fork. You come about a half mile east, and you find the Doug Smith Mitsubishi. And Chris Smith, our buddy over there, is going to be rolling out some amazing deals. I guarantee it. All right, so I don't want to go full. Who's the guy who used to say that? Oh, the Men's Warehouse guy. I guarantee it.
I guarantee.
All right, I can guarantee that Doug Smith is going to have some. Chris with Doug Smith's going to have some awesome deals here with us. In the meantime, our producer Alex is hopefully going to get us on the horn here. We've got to call a winner of the JJ Beat JJ contest. It's official. We have a winner. We've got to figure it out here. So let's hey Alex, let's dial it up here. Let's see if we can get this this dude on the horn. See if we can dial this thing up here. I don't know if we're doing this on the air, but see if we can.
Hello?
Hi, am I speaking with Spencer?
Yes.
Spencer, this is Alex from the KSL Sports Zone. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Guess what? You beat JJ and you won $500.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm freaking serious,
No
man.
way.
Absolutely.
I almost didn't take this call because I thought it was a joke.
I was like, for sure he's going to screen the call, and we're not going to be able to do it. We were going to have a sad JJ at some point during all this.
It happened. I got beat, and I'm so thrilled that I got beat because we get to give away $500.
We get to give away $500, and the winner, who was just informed and still might not necessarily believe us, is Spencer Dunn, who joins us on the program right now. Spencer, congratulations on the $500 win, man.
Oh, that is so awesome. Thank you so much. That's great.
So what was your strategy of beating JJ's terrible bracket?
I figured it wouldn't take much strategy at all to beat him, but
he's right here. He's right here.
I heard that. Yeah.
So you said you picked a lot.
So your strategy basically was just to fill it out. Brilliant.
This is a good year to do chalk though, because all the favorites were kind of the winners.
Yeah. I picked. I think I picked the four number ones to go through, which was unusual. I know that I think it's the first year it's happened, so that was a little bit different. But just I had strong feelings about Houston and Florida to go through, and so those I picked automatically. So.
Did you? I assume you picked Florida as the winner.
Yes. Correct.
Why Florida? What was it about Florida that you said, this is the team? This is because Auburn was the number 1 overall seed. A lot of people thought Duke would be good with Cooper Flag.
A couple weeks ago, we're all guessing, yeah.
Right. So why Florida?
It's just a lot of the buzz I heard when I listened to some sports show, listened to you guys in the Sports KSL, and
I helped you beat us?
He cheated after listening to your dumb strategy, and then
I need to shut up on the radio.
No, I love it.
If it works, it's not dumb, right?
No, listen, I love it. Now, listen, Spencer, the $500 is coming your way. First of all, congratulations. Did you ever think that you maybe had a shot at it?
I never even dreamed I'd be getting this phone call. So it's awesome.
Well, Spencer, the real question is, where are you going to take us to dinner?
Oh, there you go.
You know what? Anywhere you want.
Oh, don't say that to us. Listen, we're trying to watch our figures, and so we're
fortunately, we're on the Salt Lake City fat loss plan, so you don't have to take us to dinner. You can enjoy that $500 to yourself.
We'll eat some salad somewhere. Spencer, out of Lehigh, congratulations, and bracket picking. You know what's great about this is the next bracket. By the time the next bracket comes around, you'll already be reset on being able to win a KSL contest again, so you can do the same thing again next year and beat JJ. How's that?
That's awesome. Let's go for it.
All right.
Seriously, congrats on beating me. Thrilled for you. Enjoy the $500. Beat me again next year. Can't wait to do it again.
I'll be there for sure.
There you go. Sly, you don't have to tell somebody to enjoy $500. They're going to enjoy it, right?
I was about to say, why did you guys say Ruth's Chris? Like, I would have been like, take me to Ruth Chris. We're going to have a buffet dinner. Get some crab legs.
Take me over to – hey, listen, I'm a simple man.
I'm not.
Chuckarama would be just fine, all right?
Oh, Chuckarama.
I could right now.
That was my spot in college, bro.
The one right there in Fort South?
Oh, yeah.
Come down the hill there?
Tuesdays, man. Tuesdays after practice, we were in there.
Let me tell you how my brother classed it up. That's where his, wedding dinner was.
Shut up!
Yeah.
That's great.
And it was like my sister-in-law's family was like, no, there's a place in Salt Lake. Because I didn't grow up here. And so my brother's family, who we married into, was like, there's this very classy joint. We call it Chuckarama. I remember thinking to myself, you can't put the word Chucko
and classy together.
And no, I was like, you mean what now? But then it took me years to find out how the glory of it. I still try to convince my wife that it's a place that we should have an anniversary or something like that. She still hasn't. She hasn't gone for it.
You just got to make a bet. So me and my wife, we bet on everything.
See, and if you bet, yes, and then she has to pay up by rolling up to.
Oh yeah, and so one of our bets are like. We have to dress up like Dress A, right? Like James Bond Dress A, and go to
the black tie affair.
Go to somewhere
Arby's,
meager, right? And
sure.
We chose Beto's, right? And I got to bring out the tablecloth with the silverware
and with the little flower on the centerpiece.
And the single candle. Lady in the Tramp style.
That's good. Look, see. I love it. Those are the ideas I need to keep my marriage going.
Hey, man, got to keep it live.
Hard to do with 7 kids that are beating the door down all the time going, where are we going to dinner?
Hey, man.
Not Chuckarama with 7 kids.
Take them to the park, bro.
All right, here's what we got. Coming up around the corner, we've got our guest every Thursday, Big T Thurl Bagley. Last night, the young kids getting the W in overtime over the Portland Trailblazers. Awesome night for those young kids, and we'll get an idea here from Big T about how this team is going into the offseason and how wrapping up these last few games here, the attitude of these guys and the attitude of Will Hardy and his team. So stay right here with us, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
You know what's coming.
Your daily deep dive into everything Utah Jazz.
It's time.
All season long and even in the off season. It's Jazz Daily with JJ and Alex on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. It is JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. If you hear multiple music sources coming in, it's because we're out here on the Plaza at the Delta Center. Delta Center Plaza, last night playing host to the Trailblazers and the Jazz. Tonight playing host to the final game of the inaugural hockey club season right here at Delta Center. And the fans are pouring in, man, already. This is, by the way, this game, the puck doesn't drop till 7.
3 hours.
So we're 3 hours away from puck drop, and we've got a legitimate line to get into the stadium. Now, I think the stadium actually opens an hour and a half maybe before puck drops, but either way, people want to be at the very, 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 very front to be able to get in and get their best seats up there. So it's been an awesome season. We were just talking with we were just talking with somebody about how insane it is to make. It was Kari Larson, who's the senior VP of community relations for the Jazz and the hockey club, and she's like, I said, how about the extra bonus, Christmas bonus for the guys and gals on the team that've got to get the basketball court transitioned over to the hockey arena and vice versa every other night. It's a phenomenal thing. It's one thing to have 82 games in the season for the NBA and 82 for the NHL. That means 82 home games for the Jazz and the hockey club combined, and
Salt Lake community.
So,
yeah.
It's been awesome for us, and obviously the community has responded, so we've really loved it. It's been awesome. Our program brought to you by G2G Bars. All natural ingredients and no preservatives make the G2G Bar the perfect protein bar, but it's our favorite Thursday event where we get to chat with Big T Thurl Bagley, who, of course, is on the television broadcast with Craig Bolajak right here on your Jazz broadcast every night. And last night was a fun one. Big T, thanks for joining us on the program, man. Awesome win for this young group last night in overtime against the Trailblazers.
It was, and I apologize for my signal ahead of time. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, it was really a fun game and a great win, I think, for this young team. I could tell how excited Coach Will Hardy was because the young players really put together a pretty consistent, well-played game. And it wasn't perfect, but I thought they did a great job on both ends from the first quarter into the overtime, and then some clutch moments, obviously, for Keontae George.
I was going to ask you, T, about a guy that we watched at this point last year win a national championship with UConn, and then he comes in. Donovan Klingen's been a guy that was that big, that big body that everybody was like, okay, how's that going to translate into the game? What have you thought about that guy? 10 points and 9 rebounds and 4 assists last night for him. That's one guy that I've always looked at and gone, okay, this Trailblazers team has got a pretty darn good young core, and they had a really good second half of the season.
They did. Klingen is really kind of that throwback. I'm not sure how much that kind of big translates into the NBA as far as his usage, because in college they will use him inside in the post quite a bit, and I think the days of those kind of bigs are almost slim and none. A lot of that would be just to draw attention. If you're a big you've got a big that's trying to dribble in. So, he got a couple of baskets off offensive rebounds. I mean, there's definitely use, but, he's not but you're not going to get many threes out of them with three-point shooters they have. But, you have to look at Portland's team and say that they're still pressed.
As you've seen this team
as well.
As you've seen this team throughout the year, too, this Jazz team, when we saw the injury report, Big T, it was like, oh, man, you always hate to see the amount of guys that are out with injuries or illnesses or all those things toward the end of the season. And it's always difficult to say, hey, let's have a nice finish to the season when you have those types of things going on. But that also gives the opportunity, what we've seen already with it, which is a lot of these young guys getting opportunities, getting minutes, and seeing a night where they take advantage of it was a big one when so many guys were out last night.
yeah, I think at this point you look at who's available, who's healthy, and one guy who I really respect is Colin Sexton. I mean, you have a vet whose approach to the game doesn't change, whether it's the first game of the season or headed to the last. And I think he's just a good teacher for these young players, you know, and what you're playing for, right? You know you're out of contention for any playoff position. You know the blueprint of the team and the way that they're headed. But you can still add to your value. And I think Colin Sexton has done that in showing that every individual stats, it's about going out and playing as hard as you can and having that impact every single night. And I just love his energy. And sometimes it really is infectious with the other guys. So I've got to, for being that kind of player who, you know, just loves to play. He loves to play, and he's always prepared to go.
Big T, man, I always preach that. I was like, you don't know when you're going to be your last time playing, you know, from injuries, from just, you know, trades and all this other stuff. So I was like, make sure you take advantage of every opportunity to play the game, man, especially the game you've been playing since a young kid. So I see that, and I feel that when you talk about Colin Sexton. And so for me, like, I just want to know some of those other guys. They had really good nights last night. Overtime win, of course, as we said. Trevor Blazers has been playing well as of late, but, like, you got good time for young guys like Bryce Sensabaugh, Keontae, you know, Flip, you know, Sensabaugh had 3 steals last night. Are those guys becoming more confident every single time to where, like, next year it's going to be, like, unconscious for them?
Well, I hope so. You know, when you get through that first season and maybe even your second season, you start to feel a little bit more you get a little bit more clarity on what kind of player you are and what they want out of you. So I think a lot of these players like Isaiah and Bryce Sensabaugh came in with something, right? And Bryce Sensabaugh came in with a knack to score. Now he has to take it to the next level and be able to be a playmaker as well. Isaiah Collier brought speed. Now he's found a way to have that same speed and then some with the kind of vision he has to you know, drop all the dimes he has, you know, breaking John Stockton's rookie records. It's a big deal.
All right.
Kyle Filipowski, he's grown up. I thought he came in a little bit deer in the headlights earlier in the season, but he's figured out the physicality of the game. He's changed his shot, his three-point shot, a lot more accurate there, and they're running the ball through him. They're running plays through him. He's becoming a playmaker. And one of the things that Coach Will Hardy said, which was so important the other day, he says, look, I know we don't have a lot of wins, but there's 29 teams watching you, 29 other teams watching how you play, how you approach the game. And so you're always on the stage, whether it's for the Jazz or
right.
maybe in the future for somebody else. So I just like the way these guys have really gone out and tried to do their best in front of these fans who get it.
Big T, Thurl Bagley breaking down this Utah Jazz team who've got a couple games left of this season, and I think from a fan perspective, people like to go, yeah, it's forgettable. But what from a season like this, you know, the most losses in franchise history, everybody's already familiar with that. We already know what the challenge of the season was going to present. What do you think the biggest takeaway is that is going to be something that's going to last way past this season? The thing that sticks on a season like this.
Well, I don't think it's, you know, from the very beginning, the message was clear to the players, to the fans, in the direction the team wanted to go. And it's not easy to do, but they committed to it. Players committed to it. And if I asked you, have you seen any progress in these young players? Have you seen any growth, any future potential of what they can be? I would think some of the things we just talked about would be at the forefront of these young players understanding the game. So, you know, if we are sitting here talking about not a lot of progress out of these players, I think it'd be a different story. But I see a lot of good things happening with these young players, and you look at the teams who have done what the Jazz are doing right now and where they are. And look, it's not a perfect science. Oklahoma City got very fortunate with SGA, but they had some nice pieces there. Sacramento tried it, and they had some success, but now they're going other directions. So I think what I would really pull out the most is the fact that these young players are taking control of their careers, and they're going out. I mean, you look at any of the numbers now with first-year and second-year players. I mean, Cal Filipowski set a record yesterday for, a 30-15 game. No other rookie has ever done that. And so it's nice to see these guys kind of getting on the map, and now going into the summer, what are you going to work on? How are you going to be better coming back into this next season?
Yeah, I mean, you talk about these young guys' development. And Thurl, I know you've been around the block. You've been in this league for decades. You understand exactly what's going on, and you can anticipate certain things. With these coaches kind of getting fired at the end of the season, they're still playoff teams, and they're firing these coaches. What does that do to a team? I'm talking about Michael Malone's situation in Denver.
Yeah.
We heard Jokic last night talk about how heavy it was on the team, and I just know that's got to be tremendous. But, if you had an idea what's kind of behind that, and then what that does to a team like Denver.
Well, internally, none of us know, right? I mean, unless we got an inside scoop. But it's just an impatient league, right? It's an impatient league, and teams, general managers, owners, they want it now. They want more of it. And in the case of Coach Malone, I don't think anybody understands that.
Head scratcher, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got a guy who a couple of years ago just brought you a championship, and now
it's crazy too, because he's the winningest coach in Denver Nuggets history. You think about George Karl, who was there for a stretch, and you go, Mike Malone brings the title, and he's the winningest coach ever on a franchise that's pretty proud, and it's just wild. I mean, you said it's an impatient league. Here's how much of an impatient league it is. Since 2020, 2021, there are only 3 head coaches from that season that are still in their head coaching positions across the league. That's where we're at. We're only 5 years removed from that.
Yeah, we are. And we've seen things like this, not just with coaches, but with players as well. I mean, you look at the Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis situation,
right.
And there's going to be some other things going on this summer. So it's a crazy time. And look, there could be some other internal things going on as well. But still, I mean, at least you let the guy finish out the season and see,
crazy.
See how far he can take him.
Yeah, there has to be some stank there. I mean, you got 3 games left in the season.
Well, or Taylor Jenkins even with Memphis, same thing. You go, what? Okay, well, obviously they want to get rid of him. Obviously they want to get rid of him, and they couldn't wait.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then there's the opposite side of things. I think where the Jazz sit and they go, hey, we like what we have with Will Hardy.
Right.
Why is it Big T that a guy like that Will Hardy isn't just like the guy for this job? Like, it just seems like he is somebody who has accepted exactly what this role is. He knows what the challenges are, and yet his message has been unwavering, and this is not a guy who compromises.
Well, it's about commitment on both sides, right?
Right.
About commitment from the franchise, knowing what you're potentially going to be going through with the rebuild of this team. It's about patience. It doesn't happen without that. Having the best position at the right time, and I have no doubt it's Will and his coaching staff. Again, it's a business. Crazier things have happened. I don't see Will going anywhere.
Yeah.
But this is a crazy business, and we've just seen some really crazy things happening.
Big T, Thurl Bailey, of course, you see him on the television broadcast side of things because he's pretty. And that's why he's not doing the radio side of things. And when he does, he's nice enough to jump on with us. But Big T, we appreciate it as always. And at this point next week, we'll just get a full season download, and then we'll go from there. Thanks for hanging out with us as usual. And by the way, can people still go and sign up for the Jam Fest in Lehigh this summer?
Absolutely. JamFestUtah.com. It's filling up. We've got twice as many teams as we had last year, and it's going to be a really fun summer. June 6th and 7th and they can go to JamFest Utah and read all about it. And if they want to challenge me one-on-one, bring it.
He's talking to you, Sly. I think I was talking to you.
I was a defensive guy. I was a defensive guy when I was my basketball hate.
Did you hear that, T? He's gonna lock you down.
I got some defensive strategies for one-on-one.
Oh, sure you do. Everybody says that until Big T hits him with the elbow in the teeth.
I can't do nothing about height.
That's fine. Big T, we appreciate it as usual. JamFestUtah.com is the website. It's the best 3-on-3 tournament in all of Utah. Go check it out. It's earlier than it usually is. If you're anticipating, I'll sign up and play in August. Nope, doing it earlier this year. So June 6th and 7th down in Lehigh. You can register right now. Thousands of teams and thousands of participants in this one. So JamFestUtah.com. Big T, we'll talk to you next week, man.
Thank you, guys.
There you go. Thurl Bailey.
Great guy, man. Gotta love Big T.
I think he would. I think he could probably beat us 2-on-1. You and I.
You think? I don't know, man, because I'd be yelling at you all the time, like, Alex, get in the corner.
I'm just like, hit the corner. I'm ready to hit the corner 3, coach. Sure. Get my church ball skills out. Let's
pick
go.
And roll. Pick and roll.
Oh, I bet. Now that's one thing I wouldn't. Just for the experience, I'd throw a pick down on Big T. Boom. Stand there like the wall. I'd still probably get just absolutely blasted.
Yeah, right.
No problem. No problem. Appreciate Big T joining us all year long, and it's just been awesome to be able to break this team down. I say it's been awesome. What's been hard is the part of getting used to accepting what, and that's the first time I will say, too, that's the first time I've heard Big T mention, like, we all kind of know what the charge was this year. We knew what the assignment was, so to speak.
Right.
This is he's a Jazz employee, like in the end he works for the team. And it's hard for those guys. It's a proud franchise, man.
You're a competitor. That should be first, right? A competitor understanding that this is the deal. That's just hard to take for anybody.
We were talking with Steve Starks earlier this week at the Bees game, and that's the guy who used to be the president of the Jazz, and he's like, when you go from the height of what this program was in terms of like the winning, one of the winningest regular season programs in the history of the league, in terms of win percentage, in terms of how long you could be in the playoffs, all those things. It's hard to go to this spot where you're like having to play the game, which is the game that you have to play in the league, which is get those draft picks, man. You got to figure it out some way. Got to figure it out somehow. So
you just hope that it works out like OKC's. Right, where they still have tons of draft picks, but all their young guys just turned out to be stars.
JJ yesterday, at the end of the day, dropped some freaking bomb on us by telling us, I think the Thunder aren't even going to win the West.
I don't think so either.
He thinks it's going to be the Warriors.
I think it's going to be the Lakers.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, I'm biased, but look, I'm a matchup guy, right? The only team that I think has something on the Lakers is the Nuggets, and they just lost Mike Malone. So they're going through a lot of crap, and Russell Westbrook is going to mess it up for them. But
when I saw Luka with the shivery chin last night and crying during that video, come on, man. They're not ready. They're not ready. He doesn't have the guts.
Dropped 31 in the first half.
45 overall, right?
I mean,
JJ and I were like, there's no way he scores under 50. So we went for 45. I was like,
But he didn't score. He didn't score in the whole third quarter.
No, I know. It's pretty bonkers. It's pretty nuts.
But the Lakers, size, speed, and the way that they're using it, because they have both Luka and LeBron that's been to the finals. But like the way that they're making Bron play the 5, and they're just outrunning, and everybody can shoot. I saw them play the Rockets. They are too big, muscly for the Rockets.
Yeah.
Memphis is out. And then the Warriors, I like the Warriors, but they're even small for the Lakers.
Yeah.
So if you can slow down Steph, that's a W.
Yeah, I agree.
So watch the Lakers.
I don't agree that the Lakers are going to be that team.
That's my team. I'm biased, folks. I know you guys hate me talking about my Lakers, but we're in the playoffs, baby.
I'm actually just proud of you that you didn't bring up the Lakers when Big T was on again. This is like all the last 3 times you've been on, you're all Big T. I'm a Lakers fan. He's like, thanks. I could have gone without you mentioning that. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. The radio play-by-play voice of the Utah Hockey Club is going to be joining us coming up here. Mike Folta. Now, we don't have JJ here today because he's out of town, but Mike picking up the slack where JJ isn't here because he's the guy wearing the tie today. So Mike's going to roll it out here for us. The radio play-by-play voice of the Utah Hockey Club joins us next right here on the Plaza for the final game of the inaugural home season for the Utah Hockey Club here at Delta Center this evening. And by the way, we are 2.5 hours from puck dropping, and the party's already bumping right here on the Plaza. Lots of folks in line to get in early. See if
I'm gonna go fist pump on our break real quick.
You think somebody look? People are trying to get
crowd
in. The full-on deal is they want to get some stuff signed. They want to get a warm-up
bar.
They want to get a warm-up puck that gets hit up into the crowd. All that stuff.
You like the broccoli head guy?
Oh yeah, look at him. The broccoli, the veggie guys have come out, man. They've come out in force. I love it. It's like super fans come out. Look, this is a meeting of super fans over here. You got the headband guy, Brandon, and then you got the guy wearing the broccoli on his head.
I just want somebody to have an onion.
Hockey, strange bedfellows, I'll tell you. All right, we'll take the break. We'll come back. Mike Folta joins us next. 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are out on the Plaza at Delta Center. It is the final home game of the Utah Hockey Club's inaugural 2024-2025 season. I watched somebody walk by, Sly, wearing the game number one T-shirt that they had printed for the hockey club and the Chicago Blackhawks from October 8th, where we were also out on the Plaza here, broadcasting live on that very first home game of the Utah Hockey Club. What a wild freaking ride it's been since October 8th. By the way, October 8th feels like it was last night. I mean, we were right here celebrating that first game of the season. Maybe Mike Folta, the radio play-by-play voice of the Utah Hockey Club, disagrees because it's you've been on the road quite a bit this year, Mike. Maybe it's felt like the full season, but when he had that shirt on and it said October 8th, and it had the Blackhawks and it had the hockey club, we were brand new to all this, and I can't believe it was just October 8th. It feels like yesterday that we started this whole thing out, and here we are, the final home game of the season, man.
I saw that same guy, and I had deja vu. I thought we were back on October 8th, and Gary Bettman and the ESPN crew was here and all that stuff when we celebrated opening night. But
massive party out here in front, and we lost our broadcast signal because there were just too many people in one spot. Like at one point, all the radio broadcasts. Oh, it was lit, as the kids say. So yeah, well, I know a lot of people have done the whole wow, how's the whole year been? But do you remember that night and making that call and kind of where your head was at on your very first call at a home game here at Delta Center?
I remember that game, and I remember that day, and I remember it vividly at the start because I almost got scammed. There was someone your opening day for anybody, everything's moving a mile a minute, right?
Yeah.
I get a text from this unknown number that says, hey, this is someone higher up in the organization. This is yada, yada, yada. Okay, I'm like, okay, this is pretty suspect.
Sure.
And they're asking me to purchase Google Play cards.
Of course.
For them. Now, we use Google as kind of our, how
a
our
partnership
emails,
of some sort?
our email platform and stuff like that. So we use Google. So I was halfway out the door. I'm like, oh my God, this C-level executive needs these Google coupons on opening night of all nights. Everything rests on me right now. That was my mindset heading out the door before I checked myself.
Hi, Mike, it's me, Ryan Smith. I'm going to need some Target gift cards.
I want you to get me, not anybody else that I have.
I followed up, and it quickly became apparent that was not actually who they said they were.
There's a reason that we have to go through these HR, phishing scam things on our email all the time. They're all just a little mini trainings because it doesn't matter. Whatever headspace you're in, you can get an email from somebody. And like you said, stuff goes so quickly sometimes, and you're going – and we do get to interact a lot with our bosses and with people, and you kind of go, maybe they would send me that email. No, they wouldn't. No, they would not. No,
I've never been so appreciative of dual-factor authentication.
I was about to say, how did they get your number? That's just
I don't know. It was a scam or a hacker or something. But so that was the start of the day.
Yeah.
The rest of the it was
That's
a dream.
Funny one.
It was a dream. Truly, it was my first true NHL broadcast. We'd done some preseason games.
Sure.
But that was my first real NHL broadcast, and it was a dream. We score 5 minutes in. That helps, right? It kind of, all right, takes the pressure off. We're leading the whole way. and we get a fight in there. We get everything you could want from the game side
Empty
of it.
net
We
goal
win.
at the end.
That first
Empty net
Oh.
goal. It made it. We were watching the game with my sons, and we were at home, and I'm trying to be like, hey, we're going to be a hockey family now. Sorry, guys, this is what we do. And because I'd come over and watch after we had done our broadcast, I went in and watched the first period, left because we had some football stuff that we were doing with the little kids, and so I come back and we're watching it, and I had made a prediction of 5-2 on the program, and people were like, where's that coming from?
We're checking the tapes.
You can't you can go back and look, because the amount of victory laps I did the next day, I'm making our producer Alex pull
am
it.
the smartest man alive.
I'm like, I don't know, you guys. I'm just kind of a hockey-minded dude. Like that's probably where
kind
that
of
5-2
guru
came from.
over here. You know? Better than JJ's March Madness
Look,
brackets.
I just remember that that day. It just didn't feel real, because why would we be a hockey town after 6 months suddenly? You know what I mean? And and really we weren't. I mean, we were just like going. We just had a hockey team here, and now. Having been, I was out in Florida during those two Florida games with Tampa and the Florida Panthers, and I got out to Amerant Bank Arena. I threw something at you, didn't see it. It was an octopus. No, but I
thought it was the rat.
I remember it was the rat. It was their. I figured out that their other mascot was not Chuck E. Cheese. It was it's a rat that they have as their guy. So I'm out there and I'm going, okay, I'm studying other markets. Like, okay, here's how you become a hockey town. And let me tell you how Florida became a hockey town. They won the freaking Stanley Cup. I'll tell you, 5 years ago, the guy sitting next to me was like, oh, yeah, we couldn't fill the place up 5 years ago. And I was like, okay, we can fill this place up. I don't care what's going on in the season. Like, to keep something going, to keep the vibe like this going in Utah, it takes winning. It takes a lot of the things that go on here. But I think that it's built from the top down, where you have an organization that kind of, I mean, how likable is the head coach? How likable is Bill Armstrong, the GM? We've had Chris Armstrong, the president of the team, on our program a bunch of times, and it just seems like that top to bottom, if you were to take a poll, this is a pretty well-run organization already a year in here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, and one thing that's the difference for me between opening night when we were sitting here all the way back on October 8th and now is on October 8th, you didn't see the jerseys. You didn't see the connection with the players and things like that. And now I see a 38 jersey that doesn't say O'Brien, it says Spicy Tuna.
Of course.
I see another jersey that has 99 on it, and it has Nick Olczyk on the back.
I was going to say.
The TV analyst just joined us right now.
That's only reserved for the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, look at that. You can't wear 90. Yeah, in hockey, you can't be that guy.
I thought you wore 99 growing up, no?
No.
Maybe in the video game, but not real life.
No. Nick Olczyk, by the way, without JJ here, our normal TV guy, now we have multiple ties.
Yeah.
I
gotta go put mine on.
I'm a radio guy. I'm not used to all this bling you guys are throwing at us here. It's been quite a year so far. We've had a lot of fun, and being able to cover this thing, be able to chat with you from week to week has been good. What do you think that looking forward and just kind of because I would assume now you look at it and you go, oh, I guess I live in Utah and I've become a Utahan over the past year. What's that been like? Not just from the personal standpoint, but just being okay. This is not just like becoming a hockey town. We've had to become a hockey town.
Well, one of the tenets of Smith Entertainment Group and of the Utah Hockey Club, one of the 5 tenets is all in, and
Google Play cards and then all in. Like those are the two.
In no particular order. But we've had such great buy-in from the fan base, from the rest of our broadcast team, from the players, obviously, and that starts from the top down. And you see that all-in mindset manifest in things like what we're seeing with Ryan Smith and the promise to build rinks and the new practice facility going in at the shops at Southtown. Like those are not just financial decisions that are going to help the bottom line and help season tickets next year. Those are investments in the future that are going to help hockey blossom in this state. And yes, it'll help the team in the long run, but it's more geared towards building connections and truly believing in the vision that started here with Ryan and Ashley Smith. And so, I mean, they're all true believers upstairs here at SEG, and that trickles down to us on the broadcast, and it makes it very easy to also be all in. Living here, working here, playing here, it makes it all easier when you have that kind of leadership from from up top.
Hey, how was your first baseball game, by the way? Was it fun?
Did not catch a foul ball.
No.
Did not catch a foul ball.
The odds aren't never good, but that's a
fantastic
nice
park.
Yeah.
Fantastic park. We had a great time. I was looking for a radar gun. I want the radar gun where you can guess your speed or something like that.
It'll come up. They usually have it there.
You can tell they're building there, right? They're on their way.
They're half the crew there. So have I thought they were going to give out construction hats as like their giveaway that night because it was going to have to happen.
We had to wear them coming to the parking lot. It was mandatory.
It was bonker. Mike, this has been an awesome season for us to be able to watch, and this team has been really cool. And X's and O's wise, this Nashville Predator team we talked about before you came on. The club should win this game tonight. You're supposed to win this game tonight. They've got 2 out of their last 4 games are going to be against this Preds team that is underperforming massively for what people thought they were going to be doing this year.
The Preds, you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a weirdly disappointing season in Smashville, as they call it. I mean, they handed out $100 million in new contracts.
Yeah.
That's spaced out over years. But
they kind of made a wild trade. Did they make a trade that kind of like...
They brought in Steven Stamkos. They brought in Jonathan Marchessault, so a couple of cup winners right there.
Yeah.
That's free agency. They brought in Brady Shea from Carolina, who's known as one of the best defensive defensemen in the NHL. So those were kind of their 3 big splashes that they made. They did trade away a promising goaltender, Yaroslav Askarov. They traded him to San Jose for draft picks, essentially. That was kind of a surprising move to many because this guy seemed like the goalie of the future. But really, it doesn't make sense to a lot of us why they haven't been effective. There's a lot of veterans there, a lot of pride, a lot of talented guys, not just the ones I mentioned, but Philip Forsberg and Roman Josi, 2 of the best players at their respective positions in the Western Conference. But you also got to think about how tough this division is, too, that Utah and Nashville's playing in. You got 3 teams with over 100 points already, Dallas, Winnipeg, and Colorado. You got 3 cup contenders right there.
Yeah.
And then throw in St. Louis and Minnesota, who are also going to make the playoffs probably.
Like St. Louis
it's
is a team that nobody wants to face right now just because of how hot they are right now.
Yeah, they had won 12 in a row until their last couple. But yeah, like this Central Division is a gauntlet, and I don't expect Nashville to be down for long. I think this was just kind of a fluky season. They started the year by losing like 5 in a row and just never got off on the right foot.
Yeah, man. I let me kind of get back to this season. It's been just incredible, right? Like we were just talking about it. What is it? April 15th is what you said.
18th.
18th
was the official announcement.
Was the official announcement, and it's just blown by. I feel like you said October 8th was yesterday. I feel like that was yesterday.
Yeah.
So I know you got some stories from the season. You got 82-game season plus the preseason. How was this season for you in calling this, and what is the atmosphere in the Delta Center at home, and even fans that are traveling? What was this experience for you this first year?
Well, going on the road is a blast because you're insulated, you're with your team, you get to go out and have dinners on the road and build relationships and things like that. And going on the road's fun. You see new cities. I look forward to home games like none other because with our broadcast setup, I don't know if anybody's stopped by and said hi. We're right behind Chick-fil-A, section 6-7. We're like at the top of the lower bowl.
Yep.
So we're in the middle of it here at home. Whereas usually when we're on the road, we're usually way up in a press box or up in a gondola or something like that, where you're kind of separated from the action.
You feel it.
You can't feel it the same.
Yeah.
Like Madison Square Garden, where it's a 6-5 overtime win, and it was magical and incredible and one of the best nights of my life. But you can't feel it the same as a Tuesday night at Delta Center when you're in the midst of the crowd and you've got Jazz Bear like right next to you throwing darts at a bald guy's head or something. Like it's just a totally different experience.
Alex's head.
Calling a game.
Head,
yeah. Well, that was you. That was target practice.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
we
a
had
big head.
We had these
noggin.
suction cup darts that we were lobbing at this bald guy's head, and I hit it, but it didn't stick. So that might have been you.
Yeah. No. You'll get the summons to court soon. It's fine. It's no problem. Mike, it's been awesome to be able to chat with you and be able to download, kind of get it. I mean, we've had to get an education this year, and so it's one thing to get to know the game. It's another thing to get to know this team and this franchise. It's another to be able to kind of do it at the level that we've been getting all this download from you guys. And so congrats on an awesome season here at home, and
A couple more left on the road, 3 more after this one on the road, but it's been an awesome season so far, and we'll chat with you again next week, man.
It's been incredible, and thanks for being along with us on this ride. It's been awesome.
Absolutely. Of course, you can hear Mike's call tonight, just like you do every night right here on the KSL Sports Zone, 6 o'clock pre. Adrian Denny, of course, kicking things off with Hockey Night in Utah, and then you get the puck drop at 7 o'clock, and that's where Mike takes over and takes you through that entire one on the radio side of things. Mike, thanks for, man. We appreciate it again. We'll take a break. Before we do, you can nominate the youth sports volunteer that you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week. You submit that nomination, KSLSports.com/contest, and we read those winners off every week. And this week's winner, Aaron Burnett, as nominated by Jamie Gerhardt. Listen to this one. Such a great coach. These boys in the 5th grade recreation basketball has helped them learn how to work as a team and to play in the spirit of sportsmanship as well. She always does a great job to be able to keep the self-esteem of these kids up and spending time with practice with them as well to give them tips to succeed. The best coach that my son has ever had in any recreation sport. Aaron Burnett is the winner of the Hercules Hero of the Week. She gets a $200 gift card to Beehive Meals and $100 courtesy of the folks at Hercules First Federal Credit Union. We'll be back. More to go. You can nominate a person of your choosing as well, somebody who does a phenomenal job, just like Aaron Burnett has done, just by going to KSLSports.com/contest and make that nomination happen right there. We'll come back. We've got more to go right around the corner. I've also got some tickets to give away to the Salt Lake Bees coming up, so stay right here with us, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest name.
You're locked into JJ and Alex.
Welcome back, everybody. 97.5 KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry, Stevenson Sylvester sitting in for JJ on JJ and Alex today. JJ will be back on Monday, and he's missing out on the final home game of the inaugural season of the Utah Hockey Club. You know, we heard Bear as we were coming back right there, and you've been able to sit down to do some of these interviews with us with Coach Tourigny this year. I'm just impressed by that dude. He seems pretty like. Here's the thing: in a league where everybody's getting fired in the NBA, right? Like everybody's getting fired in the NBA, and you get these guys who are just like they're bigger than the game. It seems like sometimes these NBA coaches. I don't get the vibe at all like Coach Tourigny. I mean, he just seems like such a steady dude. I've loved listening to that guy this year, and I've loved that he's come on the program with us. And he just seems like a guy that, if they want, he could probably be here for a long, long time.
Well, I mean, we talked about it last week. I mean, that's a guy you want to hang out with, you know. And you know, this is the same thing. I remember my rookie year, Dick LeBeau. What is he, 78, 80 at the time? He had the same energy from that first day of preseason practice as it was all the way to the Super Bowl.
He didn't need to, too. It's Dick LeBeau, man.
Yeah, but
right?
You don't need to. But, like, that's how you know guys are in it and guys love it, right? And they're there for different. And that's what we felt when we interviewed him last week is that energy that he's bringing, man, that is something that the team is feeling. That's something that the crowd is feeling. And I think it's something special. And, he just sounds like a really fun guy to be around. And, of course, when you got a fun guy to be around, it got to be a great coach. And I think he's doing a great job for us in this inaugural season.
It's been an awesome one to watch so far. We've got lots to talk about still, too. Cole Bagley, our insider, our Utah Hockey Club insider for KSLSports.com, is going to join us next hour. I ran down a friend of mine who is a converted Golden Knights fan. When I say converted Golden Knights fan, he's tatted up with the Stanley Cup on the arm, with the Golden Knights logo on the arm in permanent ink. And he'll never get rid of it because it was a special moment for him, but he has converted 100% to be a Utah Hockey Club supporter now because he's from here, man. And he made the transition. So we're going to chat with Matt. He's a hockey guy. I want to see what his vibe is from the super fan standpoint, a guy who was at almost every one of these home games, and much, much more. So stay right here. Bob Casper from Real Golf Radio is going to join us next, give us an update as to that first round of the Masters today. Thursdays are so important. We were talking yesterday with BT about this. Brian Taylor was bringing up how you have to have a good Thursday and Friday. I mean, obviously that goes without saying, but usually if you're leading, if you're in the top 10, that on the first day, you're almost always in the top 10 by the end of the tournament. So huge day on a Thursday at the Masters opening things up. So we'll talk to Bob Casper next right here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Oh, I've got some Bees tickets to give away first. A family 5-pack of Bees tickets for the brand new ballpark
tomorrow to the Bees to go see him take on the Reno Aces. We're live out there in Daybreak. It's an awesome one to be able to go take a look at. And Mike Folta, we were just talking to him, the voice of the radio voice of the hockey club. He went out to his first game there at the ballpark. Beautiful place. Go check it out for yourself. A family 5-pack of tickets could be yours if you're calling number 12 right now. 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-9663. Back in a moment. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on the Zone. This is JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This 2025 Masters Update, live from Augusta, is brought to you by Zions Bank, Black Desert Resort, and Siegfried and Jensen on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. JJ and Alex. Our program is brought to you by G2G Bars. All natural ingredients and no preservatives make the G2G Bar the perfect protein bar. In fact, they're handing them out by the dozens out here on the Plaza here. I'd like to say that we brought – you know what, Sly? Why not? A little viral marketing. I'll do it. Come on down. We're providing some G2G Bars for you. And look, we're the home of the we're the home of the G2G Bars. They're our title sponsor. They just so happen to be also a partner with the folks over here at the hockey club and the Jazz. So, yeah, it helps.
Great bars. We love them.
Phenomenal.
What's your favorite flavor?
The chocolate peanut butter. All right. Not that I know.
Nonchalantly.
I didn't have to think about it. Yes. And let's kick things off here. The top of the hour brought to you by Trajan Wealth, TRAJAN Wealth.com. Also kicking off your 5 o'clock hour. He is Bob Casper. He, of course, is Real Golf Radio host. He and Brian Taylor, BT, do a phenomenal job of covering this Masters. It's their 25th that they have covered together. And then I won't mention all the years on top of that Bob has done as well. But Bob Casper joining us live after the first round of the Masters. Justin Rose had himself a day there, Bob. That was quite a showing on a Thursday.
Yeah, he played some great golf, and he talked about it in his press conference when he came in to meet with the media after the round, and he said he just got off to a good start, made a nice 25-footer that kind of settled the nerves, and then followed that up with a birdie. That was at 1, and birdie at 2, and a birdie at 3, and he got to 3 under par pretty quick, and just kind of kept it going.
You know, when we were talking about with Brian yesterday, how important it is to get a good start at the Masters. I mean, that goes without saying, but in particular this tournament, if you can get yourself in the top 10 after the first day, the odds of you making it into the top 10 by the end of the tournament are pretty good. Yeah. Why is it that that's the case on such a difficult golf course? And of course, the course showed today how difficult it can be. You had a mix of low scores and guys who are, starting to struggle. And man, I don't know how many Masters I've watched on TV, probably, between 30 and 35 of them myself. But guess what? I just get fooled by those greens. They're so hard to see on TV anyway, but you get so fooled by the greens, and I go, these poor pros who know everything about golf, and they know these greens, and yet it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you practice. It is so hard to dial in those putting surfaces.
Yeah, Justin Rose, 3 clear of Corey Connors and Scotty Scheffler and Ludwig Aubert at 4 under par, and then Tyrrell Hatton and Bryson DeChambeau at 3 under par. Rory McIlroy was interesting. You're talking about those things that you don't see on the golf course that are extremely tough, and one of them is the 15th hole. That green slopes away from you towards the pond when you get over the green, and that's where Rory was in 2. He was at 4 under par, and he just got a little too aggressive with the pitch shot. It ran past the hole, down and off the green into the water, and he ends up making double bogey there and another double bogey on the 16th hole to finish it even par for the tournament. He gave away a beautiful round when he was tied for second, and it's really, really frustrating. What you don't see on television is the slope and the undulation that are in these greens, and where Rays Creek is on. Predominantly, the grain of the grass goes towards Rays Creek. So anytime you've got something going from the upper property down to the lower property to the south, to the southwest, then you know that that the putts are going to roll a lot faster. And then you combine the undulation and the slopes in the greens, it becomes even more and more difficult. But it's the type of golf course where you can score. You can score really well, and you can take advantage of some things. But it's the type of golf course, if you get out of position at all, just a little bit, you kind of have to be not as aggressive and be more smart and try to make a par and keep things going and move on, which Rory wasn't able to do.
I watched that stretch of Rory. I think he was in one of the featured groups that I was streaming at the moment.
Yep.
Between 7 and 10, and he birdied 8 and 9, and it was such a good stretch. And you were like, oh, he's kind of feeling something right now. And he was going. Then he got and then he got a birdie at 13. And you're going, okay, he's 4 under. I mean, his big struggles have been these Thursdays. How can you come back from a 6-stroke deficit after day one? And again, even par is not, I watched Justin, or I think I watched, it was Justin Thomas maybe last year or the year before. That Thursday's been a problem for him too. I saw him card, I think, a 76 on one of the Thursdays and a 75 on another. And being in that +3, +4 range is just so hard to come back from. Is even par after day one, that's not a total disaster though, right?
No, it's not a total disaster, but he's looking at what he did in his 2 out of his last 4 holes, and that's not going to sit well with him tonight. But he'll come back out tomorrow. He'll reassess, and hopefully he just gets right back on the horse and he shoots a really, really good score. Tony Finau shot 3 over today. Probably very disappointed with what he was able to do, but you know what? The average cut line score is around 3 to 4 over par every year.
Yeah.
So Tony's not out of it. I remember one year I was here with my dad, and we were watching, and I think Curtis Stream shot maybe 78 the first round, and he came back with a 64 in the second round and got to 2 under par, and then he shot another really good low score like 66 or 64, and was leading the golf tournament going to the last day and ended up losing the golf tournament to Seve Ballesteros. But you can play yourself out, but you can also get yourself back into it if you have a good round in round 2.
I was watching, too, Ashke Bhatia, who's an interesting story because he's a guy who is the very first drive, chip, and putt participant at the Masters. They have so much video now of these guys, and it's not that long ago that not like he's put on much weight since then, but an absolute just like gangly 12-year-old out there participating in that drive, chip, and putt, and then here he is playing in the Masters in his second Masters, but he's also 2 under, and he's one of these guys to me that I'm like, he's pretty crafty out there, which is what you have to be on this course.
Yeah, the interesting thing in that you brought him up, but he and Ludwig Åberg played with Rory today. Ludwig was even par for the tournament through 11 holes, and he made 4 birdies coming in from that point, and he finished at 4 under par.
Tied for second, yep.
Yeah, Bhatia was 2 over par through 12 holes, and then he was 1 over par after 16, and he birdied 17, 18, or 16, 17, and 18, and was able to get in the house at 2 under par, where Rory kind of shot himself in the foot with those 2 double bogeys. But Akshay Bhatia is a great player. He won his first event on the PGA Tour a year ago in San Antonio that got him into the Masters, and he's not a guy that is intimidated by being in the big spotlight, being in a group with both those guys, Ludwig Åberg and Rory McIlroy, both in the top 10 in the world. Great, phenomenal players. Akshay Bhatia is a great player, and it was really, really fun to watch him today.
Bob Casper, Real Golf Radio. You can hear him every Saturday right here on the KSL Sports Zone in the morning, and he and Brian Taylor do a phenomenal job. And obviously, Masters Week is one of those set key pieces that they do every year from Augusta. Bob, what does Friday look like for you? What's kind of the wisdom on a Friday typically going into round 2 of the Masters tournament?
Well, the guys that are down the leaderboard a little bit are guys that are going to have to go out and they're going to have to get a little bit more aggressive and try to make some birdies and get back in the golf tournament. Make sure for sure that they can stay inside the cut line, like Tony Finau, like John Rahm. Those guys are at 3 over par. You've also got Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth. Those guys are at 1 over par. All those guys need to shoot under par tomorrow to make sure that they get inside the cut line and are able to score the last 36 holes. But guys like Scheffler and Aubert and Bryson DeChambeau and those guys they just need to continue to do what they're doing. I was watching Scotty Scheffler today, and he does really, really well. He made 2 long putts on par 3s today on the 4th and the 16th hole, but he scores well on the par 5s, and he was able to birdie the 2 par 5s on the front 9. Didn't birdie one on the back 9, but he got to 4 under par, and it almost seems like it was a very uneventful, kind of nonchalant, kind of lazy 4 under par round, and here he is at the end at 4 under par and tied for second. So I expect more of that from Scotty Scheffler. I think he's the guy that's the cream of the crop right now. And Justin Rose, of course, he's been in this position 5 times. He's been leading after the first round 5 times, and he's yet to finish the deal off. But he's got some really good players coming behind him.
Bob Casper, he's live at Augusta, and he's going to be out there all weekend long. And I'm sure we're going to be able to dip in with you guys over the next few days and then get a full debrief also next week as well. So we appreciate you joining us and giving us those updates down there from Augusta. And it's so much fun to watch. I don't know if there's a person that I'm more jealous of on the entire planet than you and BT this time of year. When I see one, I love the game, but I also just love being able to follow the Masters. It's so fun to watch. But you know what? It's just a dream what you guys are able to do out there, and it's really fun to listen to on these Saturdays especially. So thanks for hanging out with us, man. We appreciate it.
We really appreciate it, and we enjoy coming on with you guys.
All right, there you go. Bob Casper, everybody, Real Golf Radio. He's, of course, live there at Augusta, and he's out there every year and gives us an idea of what's going on. And pretty cool that your dad's the Masters was one of the former Masters champions, too, in 1970. It's a pretty cool thing to be able to watch him go through all those memories and pretty unique insights from Bob and BT, obviously, who've been covering that thing for so long. By the way, we are right outside Delta Center, and there's a lot going on, of course, this evening as we're
E40.
What was that?
E40. It's the music, man. It's bumping.
Oh, I was like, Sly, we're trying to do a radio program. I don't need you jamming to some tunes out here, okay?
It's debate going on over here.
Listen,
it's a vibe out here.
It is. And you know what? They've been throwing stuff out to the crowd. You got a couple things going on. You have a couple of entrances. You have they're throwing stuff out to fans. They're giving out some food. They're hanging out here on the plaza, and it's just about as good of a time as you can get. And somebody told me too, I think they're doing some crazy deal in the team store, and so you're getting a lot of people who are going in for the buy one get one half off stuff across the store. So pretty dang cool. I haven't gotten the courage up to buy one of the game scored pucks that are in there. They have those in the store. Sly, there might even be one from the Winnipeg game that you were at. You want me to just go pop in and see if I can get a discount on one of those pucks that were scored during that game?
I know you got the juice. Make it happen.
I'm all, who scored this one? Give me that empty net goal, something like that. But listen, this has been a fun thing for us all year long. One of the people who's been able to give us draw the pictures for us here as to what's going on here at Delta Center and what's going on with this hockey club is our Utah Hockey Club insider for KSLSports.com. Cole Bagley, join us on the program. Cole, we are at the final freaking home game of the season. Can you believe it, man? It's bonkers.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, before we get into that, though, do you guys have any Google Play cards by chance? Or should I
hit up Folta, dude?
I texted him. He hasn't texted me back yet.
I think
use the spam number.
It could have been you. I saw the text come in, so I know he got it. It was while we were on the air because he got it and he did he gave me like a chuckle.
He left me on red.
He's like, no, I'm not gonna put up with this. But yes, you too could also get scammed, even if it's a game day. So we were talking about how October 8th till right now, just the journey that is over these months. What do you think the biggest thing is that's not the on ice stuff that you took away from this season so far? And I say so far, I mean this is, obviously they got eliminated from playoff contention last night officially, and they got 3 more road games. But this is the party to kind of celebrate. I was talking with one of my buddies over here, and he goes, "Look, I had to come out. I had to bookend this thing. I had to have the start of the season, then I had to have which was the party, and then the celebration of the season, which was this final home game with the Nashville Predators tonight."
I think this is the story.
Right.
You wouldn't know that this team got eliminated last night based on how many people are here. 2.5 hours before puck drop. They're excited. They're chanting "Veggie" out here. Like that to me is the story. Away from the players and the accomplishments, is just how Utah has been a perfect home for the National Hockey League. It's almost like it should have happened a long, long time ago, but now it's here, and it has just been injected into the veins, I think, of everybody in this state. You go to the grocery store, you go to the kids at school, like they are all wearing Utah Hockey Club apparel, which is awesome. It looks like Sly, you got
hey, you don't have to ask me twice. I was all in.
Is this Lamru?
No.
Oh, they made you. Did you make one?
Yeah, he made it. He sewed it himself.
Don't give Sly an opportunity, a window of opportunity, and I'm there.
It looks good.
Sly's middle name is Timu. No. He got the legit one, and he got it personalized with Sly on the back. Nice. And the number 10, of course you're going to freaking wear that.
He's like telling people, this guy's on the team. He's really good. I know him. We're related.
I was telling Coach last week, I'm like, if you need a guy for a fight, like
there you go.
I got my jerseys.
I'm good. I just need a mouthpiece. I don't want to lose my teeth. That's the only thing I don't want. Otherwise,
no. Listen, the NHL dental plan's pretty good. You'll be fine.
I bet they got dentists on the bench.
Yeah, they have to. This is one of those sports you better freaking bring the guy. And even just over the last few weeks, you've had guys hitting the mouth and hitting the nose.
Oh yeah, with puck, yeah.
Dylan Gunther, my kids are like, "What is he freaking wearing?" I go, "Well,
he's the bubble boy."
I go, "He got kind of hit in the nose, man. Like you don't want to mess with that thing." And he's like, when he went into the penalty box the other night.
And he lifts it.
He lifted it up, and I was like, "Oh boy, like this is not a good look. This is not a good look."
No,
Dylan.
he should keep that.
He looks like
the bubble boy has an unmatched aura. It's amazing.
He looks like the guy from what's it called, the Monty Python and the Holy Grail that night, who flips up the whole thing.
Or Spaceballs when he
he flips the whole thing up. He's like,
I can't breathe in this thing.
Yeah, no, he can't. Unmute. Yeah, so I do think that all of the things, every one of these players. I mean, this happens. We see it happen with the Jazz every year. The fans really connect with players, and every year the roster looks a little bit different. But what are some guys you look at and you go, no, these are anchors to this team going forward?
I mean, of course, Clayton Keller, the captain. A lot of people question if he was happy or not. I'm here to tell you that he loves playing in Utah. It means so much to him to not only be here, but to have the support and to wear the C on his chest. Mikhail Sergachev, who I think, him and Vejmelka are, arguably the MVPs of this season, and guys that, Bill Armstrong has, recently talked about how, Sergachev is the type of player that, they brought him in because they needed a number one defenseman, but they also needed a player that was going to help change the culture of this organization. And he is certainly going to help them create a championship culture because he's not only been there, but it's just in his blood. It's in his, it's in his attitude. This guy does not settle for anything less. And then, of course, the two young guns in, Cooley and the bubble boy, Dylan Gunther. Those are two guys that I think are going to be, at a minimum, stars in this league. And, Gunther's locked up for another 8 years. I talked to Cooley this morning. He wants, he wants to be here long term. And so, those are guys that, you can cling to. And of course, Vejmelka, who has been just unbelievable between the pipes.
Oh, he's a star now. I want to get Alex one of those broccoli heads. I know he wants one. He's been staring at the guy.
I'm a hat guy anyway. So this is the when I
think they're on Amazon.
Listen, when I saw the guy come, when you see it in person, it's one of those things that's uglier in person where you see it on TV, you're already like, well, that's a choice. And then you see it in person, you go, I'm glad he has somebody who loves him.
Yep.
But I want to talk about.
I think she wears one too.
She does.
Yeah.
She does. Yeah.
Mike was on earlier, and he was talking about you'd see the huge difference from the first game to this last game with the crowd, the community. Look how many people are wearing jerseys. Look at Sly. He's got one, right? But, like, how has this progression of this season been from your eyes and seeing the crowd in it? As you said, this is the last game. As you said, you would know we got eliminated last night, but I feel everybody I've talked to absolutely loved this. What has it been from your eyes, player perspective, crowd perspective, traveling, this whole season in a nutshell?
Yeah, I mean, I think fans have just been completely taken with the NHL product, which of course is, I mean, I'm obviously biased, but I think, of the top 4 leagues is the most attractive sport, just because of what it is, right? The culture of the NHL. We were talking about guys taking pucks to the face. Those guys came back in those games. Clayton Keller got 20 stitches inside and out, came back, scored a goal, and got an assist to help them beat Winnipeg earlier in the season. Dylan Guenther needed like 8 or 9 stitches. He was out for 12 minutes, came back and played. So
right.
I think,
are you actually in the NFL, in the NHL if you don't get stitches during a game?
What's funny is that when a guy gets hit in the mouth and they're bleeding on the floor or the ice, in any other sport, you kind of go, all right, well, they're going to go out and they're going to lock that guy down. He'll go back to the locker room. We'll see him next game. It's like, no, there's no such thing. You already know in the NHL, like, a guy gets hit, and I think I was watching one of the national broadcasts, and they were like, he'll be back in a couple of minutes. And like, it wasn't even a question. It wasn't like, I bet you might see him again. It was like, he's going to go get that thing looked at, get the throw some cotton swabs in the old nose and maybe get a stitch or two, and he'll be right back out on the ice. And they are.
I mean, Matthew Tkachuk won a Stanley Cup a season ago with like a bruised or a broken sternum.
Yeah, which is very painful.
Insane.
I mean, my heavens, these guys are tough. Cole, as we wrap this up here, home game tonight, and the Preds are coming in, and they've had a massively disappointing season compared to what the expectations were, and based off of the money that they spent before they came into the year. So 64, 65 points that they are. I mean, they're 20-something points behind the Utah Hockey Club, and people thought they were going to be one of the 3. I mean, of all the teams that are the 3 triple-digit teams in this division, which is an extremely difficult division, I don't think people would have had pegged that the Preds would be next to dead last, almost dead last in this thing.
No, I mean, they're arguably the biggest negative surprise, I think, in the entire National Hockey League. This was a good team, a good playoff team a year ago, that looked at free agency, brought in some guys, brought in, Steven Stamkos, Marchessault, added it to Forsberg, and a couple other really good players, and it just came off the rails immediately. This is, I think you're kind of seeing 2 ends of the spectrum here. When Utah plays Nashville, you see a team that has hit the reset button, that is embracing that process, that is doing it well, that isn't getting greedy, that's sticking to, what they want to do, and they're making progress, as opposed to an organization that thought that, hey, we might be able to reach the top of the mountain with, some really good moves in free agency, and now it's gone really south. And so, like I said, it's 2 ends of the spectrum. It's a team with all the potential in the world moving forward, arguably the most potential in the National Hockey League, to a team that all they can do is look in the mirror and just go, what on earth happened?
Yeah. Well, they got 2 of these games against the Preds, this one, and then I think they wrap up the entire season down there at Nashville next week for the final game of the season. It's been an awesome one so far, and if you have not gone and read the bylines all year long from Cole Bagley, he's our Utah Hockey Club insider for KSLSports.com, and if you want to get to know this team a little bit better, it's a good way to do it. Awesome first season, Cole, man. Congratulations. It was awesome.
It's been a lot of fun, and Sly, you need to learn how to skate. We need to get you out to a drop-in.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know how to skate. I said we need, ice shoes next week.
The sandpaper on the bottom of the shoes. He'll do that. He says he'll do that.
I'll do it. I don't care. I'll figure it out. I'll practice.
Our next live show, let's do it out on the ice.
I'm all for it, man. I will absolutely go out there and embarrass myself. I have no problem.
Sly don't care.
All right.
If you're going to wear the jersey,
hey,
you got to learn how to play the sport.
As I said, I don't even need pads.
I want those padded shorts. Okay, I'm gonna go around with those padded shorts on. I want to tape up my shins.
Can you come to the broadcast tomorrow with the goalie gear? I want to see you with the.
Just ask Hans. He's got it.
Yeah, he does. He does. He did come out there.
You guys did not take it easy on Hans.
No, of course not.
I thought that was awesome. All right, Cole. Thanks, man. We'll chat with you again.
All right.
We'll come back. We got more to go. The Utah Hockey Club from the perspective of the super fan. We're going to chat with Matt, who is the Utah Hockey Club president of the fan club. We'll chat with him. He's got a tattoo of the Golden Knights on his arm, and the Stanley Cup of the Golden Knights, and he's converted. So we'll talk to him, and we'll get a little bit of a vibe here. Outside of Delta Center, the final home game of this Utah Hockey Club right here this year. So more to go right here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing. When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
See, I have self-control.
Good for you.
I turned it down, buddy.
We were offered a cookie, and in full disclosure, Sly had 2 before I even. No.
They look delicious, man. They're breaking
I'm
apart
having
already.
one. Oh, yeah, that's what they are. No, they're full of protein. That's why I'm.
Oh, yeah.
They're part of the SLC fat loss program.
The protein cookies.
This is my kryptonite. You know why? They have the butterscotch chip in them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Let me not get excited.
Yeah, not made of butter nor scotch. It's a butterscotch chip. We are out here on the plaza out here at Delta Center. The sun beaming through our broadcast booth now, but you know what? It's not really hot. We have a nice breeze. It's a beautiful spring day, and the Utah Hockey Club are going to finalize their season here at home tonight in the inaugural 2024-2025 season for the team taking on the Nashville Preds. The Predators, I love being able to talk about other teams. Like, what a massive disappointment, Sly. I've just thought I expected so much more out of them this year. They're terrible. But now these are the types of things, these are the types of conversations that we have as a hockey town. And I'm interested to see over the next few games, when you get eliminated from the playoffs the night before, and we knew that the odds are going to be very, 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 very low. It's still awesome to see the fans out here coming out in force, hanging out, supporting the team. And I would imagine that this team is also just going to still come out with bells on, man. And these young guys want to get goals. Sergey the other night was really funny, and he's like, "Yeah, I mean, passing is cute and everything, but I want to score more goals." I was like, "Gee, settle down. You got a goal. Like, you guys won 7-1. You guys got goals, and you scored the first one, which, by the way, has been kind of the calling card of the team over the last few games, which is score within the first 5 minutes, and that does well for you. I mean, that
start fast.
They've been starting fast. It's been good for them the last few games. Joining us on the program right now, Matt Russell, who is the president of the Utah Hockey Club fan club, unofficial.
The club.
The club clubbers. The club clubbers. They won't actually officially recognize you, which I thought was a shame.
Okay.
But you and your boy Boston are hanging out outside the stadium here. I happen to know you guys, and from the beginning of. First of all, you always talk to me about hockey, and you need to talk about hockey more, and blah blah. And I said, look, that's great, yeah, but maybe one of these years we get a hockey team. And I don't know what it was a few years ago. It was like, I think we actually might. But it seemed like baseball was maybe still in the lead in that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the quick turnaround last year. And you've been a Vegas Golden Knights fan from when the time they came to Vegas.
Yep.
But you grew up here, and you're a hockey guy. You grew up playing junior hockey, doing all that stuff.
Absolutely.
And you've been wearing the mountain blue and the rock black and the snow white all year long, or the salt white, I guess is what we call it. You've converted over fully to the Utah Hockey Club. How cool has that been, by the way, this year?
Dude, I mean, since day one, right? Draft day. It seems like just yesterday we were here doing this. But, yeah, it's, I never thought I'd fall in love with a team like I had. Like, this is our team,
Well, why, though? Like, why this team? Why, is it just because they're here, or is it because there's something about this group in particular?
It's just about the group, man. They're all in. You don't see them take a shift off. Like, yeah, they're out of the playoffs, but they're going to be working their tails off tonight. And they just don't quit.
I'm so proud of you for saying tails, by the way. Good for you.
It took some restraint. I promise you no F-bombs. I didn't say anything about A-bombs.
Yeah, there's got to be give and take with the players and the fans, right?
Yeah.
The fans got to support, but if you can feel it from the players, it makes you support that much more, and I think it's vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, even when they were in that slump, December, January, this place was still packed.
Oh, yeah.
They're slumping, but they're still going out there giving it. They're all in the dog days of the NHL. I mean, that's, the players talk about it. Like, it's hard to get up for 82 games, but they were out there into a fan, just watching it as a fan. I kind of watch it more analytically.
Yeah, you do.
But, you can see, they're not taking time off. Josh Doan, I've never seen him take a shift off. I've never seen Gunther take a shift off. They're all in. I think that's part of the energy at Delta Center. They just feed off of that. And, us fans, we haven't let them down. We've been there through slumps and peaks and valleys, and I think they just kind of feed off that.
One of the things that I think you've mentioned to me a couple times as we've talked about this all year, I dip in with you almost every game about what's going on, and one of the things that you've brought up is like, yeah, we still have a way to go as like a fan base to try to kind of, learn the ropes and sort of. There's a little bit of an imposter syndrome, I think, that we get as fans where we're like, I mean, we're a hockey team, we're a hockey town, I guess. Like, it's going to take a minute. What are those things? What do we have to do to become legit? I was telling you about being down in Florida last week, or 2 weeks ago, down in Sunshine, watching the Panthers, and the guy was like, yeah, but we weren't full 5 years ago in here.
They weren't full 2 years ago.
And he goes, yeah, so it helps to win the Stanley Cup, but I don't think it takes that in Utah. Utah shows up for their teams. But what is it that the thing is going to kind of help us as a fan base kind of really embrace this team, do you think?
Winning. Everybody loves a winner, though, you know. But, I mean, like Bill Armstrong said at the beginning of the year, we want to be playing meaningful games at the end of the year. And a lot of the fans were like, playoffs, we're going to make the playoffs. But, I mean, here we are. Maybe we should have listened to Bill Armstrong, but they're playing meaningful games, And I think just as a fan base, just, man, like Ryan Smith building rinks, just getting involved, go to watch parties, spend $1 and watch it on SEG. I mean, it's, I just want everybody to love that as much as I do, man. I think, it's catching on. Ticket prices on third, parties going up. Like, this is it, man. I think we're there.
Certainly from the fan base perspective, people are jumping on and they're loving it, and it's been a really fun ride. For you, the ride has been falling in love with the team and everything, but it's just 1 year in the books, and so – and I think everybody knows next year there's an expectation there. Do you look at that the same way? Do you go?
1,000%.
They got to be in this playoff.
Playoffs are bust.
Okay.
Playoffs are bust.
Nice. All right, so
bet playoffs next year. Probably plus 800. Maybe.
This guy.
He's talking my Vegas
I don't even know what
now.
that is.
Hey, tonight, quick plug.
Yeah.
Puck line -1.5. Gunther anytime goal scorer.
He said that's money in the bank.
I'm not going to say how to do it, but there it is.
That's money in the bank.
I don't even know what. You basically spoke another language. I didn't understand a word of that.
I had to get that in. I had to get that in.
So if you're seeing the future here, right? Of course, we got to change our name here in a little bit, or maybe not. Maybe we keep it Utah Hockey Club. But you just said winning, right? Like winning. How? I mean, this was a great season. I mean, from Arizona's year last year, they're transitioning, all the players moving, all the commotion, yada, 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 playing meaningful games at the end of the year. Where do you see this team? When can we – I'd love to have that. When can we expect a NHL Finals appearance or even a Stanley Cup win? Projection. You're giving money lines over here.
That's a 10-year vision right there, right?
I mean, as a reformed Vegas fan, Bill Foley said 5 years for them, and six.
First year,
and they won it in 6. Why not say 6?
Not? Okay, they're spending the money. They're right there.
Hey, the sky's the limit with this group.
Matt, congrats, dude. This has been a fun year.
Absolutely.
It looks like Boston's pushing you around in this.
He wants to go eat. He wants. Hey, quick plug. Shout out Jackie Johnson. She did letters to Ingy. She's really the president of the fan group, and she's amazing. Special person. So quick shout out.
Awesome. Matt, thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All the awesome fans of the Utah Hockey Club. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We got tickets for us to give away. Call number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE to get a 4-pack of tickets to the Utah Royals and the Portland Thorns coming up tomorrow at Utah First Field. 801-575-ZONE. We'll come back. We'll wrap you up and get you ready for Utah Hockey Club pregame. Coming up next right here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Best and worst brought to you by the good folks at the Doug Smith family of dealerships. Dodge, Ram, Chevy, Subaru, Kia, and now Mitsubishi. That's where we're going to be tomorrow in American Fork. Come join us. Sly, of course, appreciate his help with us today. Brant pushing the buttons here, and then our producer Alex in Salt Lake City. Many thanks also to the folks at ReadyWise. Be wise, be ready. Your partner in emergency preparedness is ReadyWise. Utah Hockey Club is right now on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.